Hello everyone, and welcome to another royal reading here at MadWorldTarot. And possibly not a royal reading so much as a political reading. And no, I'm not embarking on a political tarot channel, definitely not. But we are hearing rumblings about presidential or at least political aspirations from Meghan Markle yet again. And it started with some puff pieces in the Daily Mail telling us how Meghan looked positively presidential on that tour of Nigeria. There has been shuffling around unnoticed in the background while all eyes were on her, and how statesman-like she looked, or stateswoman-like she looked. And all thanks apparently to Miranda Barbitt. I'm not sure if I'm saying her name right, but she's a political operator who has experience in American presidential elections, and apparently was part of the team that got President Obama back into power for a second round. So that was the puff piece. Then we had a strange situation where Governor Gavin Newsom came out and very publicly backed Meghan Markle and Archie Harry as an afterthought again in this very public endorsement of the charity, which has been very publicly identified as being delinquent. And Gavin Newsom said that Archie does extraordinary work. He went on and on about how wonderful the work is that they do, and said that this was a technical compliance issue which has been wildly overhyped. And eyebrows were raised about why he was coming out so publicly and endorsing a delinquent charity. He wouldn't have done it for any other charity. We know there are Getty connections between Gavin Newsom and Meghan Markle. I have read on her connections with Gavin Newsom before, and it looked quite cozy. That was way back when. But the royal grift has been putting two and two together and coming up with 22. And she reckons that behind the scenes, Meghan is still being supported by senior Democrats, and that it's possible that if Joe Biden is re-elected and then can't serve his full term of office as president, he would step down. And one of the people that speculated might step in is Gavin Newsom from California. And if he gets shunted into that position, then of course there's a vacancy for governor of California, and who would be waiting in the wings on those very high stiletto heels but Meghan Markle. So here we are again. As I say, I thought that this whole rumor had been put to bed. Anytime I've read on it in the past, it has looked absolutely diabolical for Meghan Markle. She did seem to have political aspirations, but they seem to have died well and truly. That was a long time ago. We're back with a new chapter tarot. We're going to check the energy around the story because it made my blood run cold. I thought, surely not. It cannot be that we are in this territory again. I kind of ignored those puff pieces in the Daily Mail. I thought, well, someone's smoking their socks, basically. They were definitely Parkle paid for pieces because the comments were very slow to roll in, and when they did, they looked like they'd been heavily censored, and people were complaining on social media about their comments disappearing under those particular articles. But we're here again. Celtic Cross coming up, looking at Meghan and her political aspirations. One of the questions that we will ask is what is going on with Gavin Newsom? Why such vocal support for a delinquent charity? What's going on with that? Some people say it's WME pulling rank. Some people say he might be wanting funding from Netflix, campaign funding. Oh, speculation. Some people are talking about the rather cozy relationship between him and allegedly Meghan Markle. Rumours. Let's see what's going on. One more shuffle. New chapter tarot. Is this a new chapter? Is this why they really went to Nigeria? Meghan is gunning for president. Yet again, the one more shuffle turned into a few more than one. But we're done, we're ready. Let's remind you that this is just tarot for fun and entertainment. It is all speculation, all my opinion. I look at energy here. And of course, there is a disclaimer in the box below. Please read it. Please form your own opinions. And let's see what lies in store. At least for the good citizens of California. Or the good, do you call yourselves citizens? I doubt it. Residents, people, Princess of Swords as our underlying energy. That's rumor, that's messaging, that's speculation right there, the Princess of Swords, which would be normally the Page of Swords. Somebody who's doing research, somebody who's planning a strategy. It's a very strategic little card, the Page of Swords. Planting seeds, that's where that Freudian slip came from. Trial run, trial balloon going up. What do people think about this? How would it look? Let's see. Let's test the water. Let's plan a strategy. Let's be clever. Let's be cunning. Let's be shrewd. And see where we can go. It's also got a bit of a defensive energy always for me, the Princess of Swords, because it's that on high alert energy that I read into that card energetically. And there could be trouble coming down the track for the Parkles with rumoured documentaries that may not be favourable to the Parkles. A German documentary team going out to California and interviewing people in Montecito, and there are other rumoured sort of stories, long interviews and perhaps some dirt being dug up. So it could be preparing for that kind of energy as well. And the charity, of course, the delinquency notice definitely leaked by someone very close to the Parkles, which could be making for some unease with this Princess of Swords. So let's see, situation, Meghan and her political ambitions. Ooh, Three of Wands, she still wants this. It's not a high and mighty card like I have seen before in these kinds of readings back over the years that I've been doing these royal readings on YouTube. But that Three of Wands is still hope and expectation, biding her time, waiting for things to fall into place, just as the royal grift was speculating, and waiting for those things to happen. Of course, as far as I'm concerned and many other people, she's busy digging her own grave with all these disastrous attempts at self-aggrandizement. The jam fiasco just been the latest of them. The awful display in Nigeria. I don't know who thought she looked presidential, but it certainly wasn't the vast majority of people watching from the sidelines. But there it is, hope and expectation, thinking if she kicks around and hangs around for a while, that ship will come in. What's the problem? The challenge, the crossing card, the Queen of Discs, money primarily. The Queen of Discs, Queen of Pentacles, is all about the money, is all about looking solid, looking stable, looking like she's worth giving campaign funds to. She doesn't, of course, have a war chest. American politics, famously, you need gazillions before you can run for office. The Queen of Discs is the problem. She doesn't have gazillions. They couldn't even seemingly afford to pay the registration... been a long day. Registration renewal fees for Archewell. And they still apparently aren't compliant, despite all the loud talk from Gavin Newsom. But the Queen of Discs is somebody who needs that war chest, doesn't have it. Who's going to give it to her? Who's going to back her? Having seen how they've been accused of being grifters very publicly, very lazy, very work shy, possibly both of them with substance issues. That's the rumor around that goes round and around and around. I've just looked at that again. So who thinks that she's good value for money, that she's reliable, she's trustworthy? Who's going to bankroll this, basically, is the problem. Tell us in this behind the scenes energy, this more hidden energy, what goes on with Governor Newsom? Why this very vocal support for a delinquent charity? Why? The motive. Ooh, we got the Ace of Cups in reverse. Interesting energy, because upright, it is leaving your troubles behind, sailing away. Painful episode, something that was difficult, traumatic even, that's left scars, emotional scars, but you're sailing away from it. It's in reverse. Something difficult that he can't distance himself from. And we don't know the precise nature of that difficulty, emotional difficulty, perhaps some sort of entanglement even. Speculating wildly, of course, given the nature of the card. That's where my speculation is tending. But there could have been some sort of connection, let me use that word, that he now can't get himself out of or disentangle himself from. And a lot of people are speculating that when the news broke that the delinquency status had been revealed to the public, leaked, the Parkles were on their way home flying high, and some phone calls might have been put in, some frantic phone calls to Gavin Newsom, perhaps calling in some kind of obligation or reminding of situations he would rather forget. That is my personal opinion. I'm just reading cards, the energy that's coming through the cards. Megan's focus right now. Is this her? What's on her mind right now? Knight of Swords. It's not very presidential energy or even political energy, but it is strategic energy. It's a step up from this Princess of Swords. We've had an upgrade with that Knight of Swords. This is tentative energy. This is testing the water. This is seeing, what people are saying on social media. It's that kind of energy. This is now maybe, okay, go for it energy, because it's swift energy. It's into the fray. The Knight of Swords goes, got a strategy, very clever, very shrewd. It looks as if she might actually be ready to dive in. She has hopped from one thing to another in recent times and doesn't seem to have landed anywhere in particular. She has just been telling us that Nigeria is her home. It felt like she was back home. She used exactly that expression when she went to Malta many years ago and claimed a Maltese heritage and said it felt like she was coming home. And it's a bit like the family she'd never had, which she told Harry, and Harry told the royals and the whole world. Only for us to discover that she'd said exactly the same thing to Trev's family when she married him in Jamaica and then divorced him shortly afterwards. So something's coming, fast and furious, a surprise, could be. Tell us how her ambitions have gone in the past, what's been happening with it. And we had the Six of Discs in reverse. Didn't work out, and it didn't work out because nobody was prepared to stump up the funds again. We've hit a money snag here. Six of Discs in reverse. Normally it's a quid pro quo card, equal give and take. It can also be charity. And we have a charitable foundation that is currently delinquent, whatever Gavin Newsom said at that press conference. According to the Twitter sleuths, the problem has not been resolved yet. So we have a charity that's not in good odor. A non-compliant charity, quite literally. Six of Discs in reverse. So that might have upset the apple cart. I was going to look further back in time, but universe has said to me, oh no, this precise moment might have derailed this strategy quite brilliantly. And it could be me connecting the dots here, the 2 and 2 and making 22. My speculation that somebody very close to home knew this, was in the offing, was being strategized, and decided to derail it. I don't know which home that somebody is very close to, because of course there are homes and homes. There's homes in California, there are homes in Britain. Somebody, this is my speculation, somebody figured this one out and thought, no. So what's coming next? Incoming energy. We've got the Six of Swords in reverse. So it's a horrible card, so we'll put it away so we don't have to look at it and get upset. So whatever she thinks, a phone call to the governor's residence or office or whatever you call it in California, that phone call, get out there, tell everybody, and we have the frog back, the very loud frog. Whatever she thought that it would be solved by this very public endorsement of Archewell, not Six of Swords in reverse. Very similar to the Eight of Cups in reverse, but this is more struggles and obstacles, battles, fighting with people, conflicts that she can't move on from. But this is going to stick around. It's going to linger, this problem from Archewell. We've got 2 sixes in reverse, interesting, because sixes are about harmony after conflict, and there isn't harmony after conflict here. The disharmony is lingering, both in the past energy and in the incoming future energy. It's also the overseas card. So she was able to disappear overseas on tour. Well, not disappear. She hardly disappeared. She loomed large overseas on her tour, her full royal tour, but now we know it was a presidential campaign, allegedly. I'm being snarky. No more of those. Those could be cut short as well, because the overseas card is in the reverse. She might be forced to stay at home and sort out her business at home, and it might be that she's not that welcome anywhere else. If she's looking for high profile kind of tours and things where she can prance around and look presidential while the has-been shuffles along in the background looking grumpy and hungover and crumpled, then she's got another think coming. How do the Democrats view her and her chances? What do they think of her right now? Queen of Cups. They still think that there's something there with that Queen of Cups. A water sign woman, of course, my mind immediately goes to Hillary Clinton, who could have some influence there still, or some agenda there still with Meghan Markle. She's gone very quiet, and they've all pretty much gone very quiet. But the Queen of Cups, the Diana energy, of course, and she's always been groomed to play that. Princess Diana reincarnated, can communicate with Diana in the afterlife and all this rot. But the Queen of Cups, of course, is an emotional connection. She's seen as sympathetic, and this is why Meghan Markle does all this hugging and selfies and tells everyone how relatable she is, and she's coming home and she's got this DNA and she's whatever. It could be trying to make her attractive to a certain category of voter that you can work out yourself from the card, make her appeal to that class of voter, that group of voters, that's a better word. So they haven't written her off just yet. What pressure is she under, apart from the failing charity? Ooh, 5 of discs. Yeah, big money problems. They might go bust before any of this happens, quite literally. Because the money situation looks tense. It doesn't look like it's going to improve in the near future unless a huge backer, and we mentioned Getty family, of course, unless a huge backer steps in, Oprah, somebody decides to put their money where their mouth is. And apart from that, apart from the money issue with the 5 of discs, which is literally the card of financial disaster, really. It's also a card of exile, a card of being shunned, unwelcome, cut out. So the fact that she has disconnected so very badly and so viciously and savagely from the royal family, and that the disconnect was all her doing. Nobody's pointing fingers at the royal family except some sugars, some squaddies who've been given the script to repeat. Nobody else believes that it's the royal family's fault that Harry and Meghan exited and then threw lobbed hand grenades back at the royal family. Everybody realizes by now that it was largely orchestrated by Meghan. Harry was only too happy to go along with the whole hate campaign against his own family. That's my opinion. That separation from the royal family is a big problem for her, image-wise. That she's cut off from her own family and now from Harry's very much more celebrated family. But it does not look good either way. Does not look good. They have been scrambling to get back in with the royals, the Parkles, but the royals are having none of it, and so there's a problem. Hopes and fears for Meghan Markle in terms of politics. Again, a money card, 2 of discs. Where's the money coming from? Cash is very tight. This is the same card that showed up for me when I did the money reading very recently, yesterday. That's being cash strapped, not having enough to go around, that you're really having to scrimp and save. You might be prioritizing the wrong things with the 2 of discs in reverse. You might be spending on PR and security and presidential tours of Nigeria, whereas you should really be spending on paying your mortgage or due diligence, not due diligence, but compliance with your charitable foundation. It's overwhelm. It's not having stuff to merch. It's not having a new pipeline. And that's an unfortunate word when they've just come back from Nigeria of that sort of cash injection. So how's it going to go? Always a terrifying moment when I do these political readings, because it's like, really, do we have to go through this again? This stress, this trauma, and I choke and almost fall over. It's the 8 of Wands. It's going to happen. It is going to happen. It's not necessarily going to be successful. Don't collapse, as I just about did. Still trying to get over this bug that I've had for weeks and weeks. It sometimes catches me in the throat. 8 of Wands is PR. We're going to be bombarded with messaging about how very presidential she is, how accomplished she is, what a fantastic public speaker she is, how people love her, how she was mobbed in Nigeria. She's so popular. This is the campaign message going out. We know the thing that we can rely on with Meghan Markle is that she never follows through. And so even though this is a childhood dream, which obviously was sowed in her when she did that thing with the dish soap, which turned out not to be true at all. It was a group effort, and nobody ever wrote to her and said, well done, little girl, you've changed the face of feminism forever. That was all just BS that her father cooked up to make her feel good, according to Tom Bauer, I think. But we're just going to have to grit our teeth and endure this bombardment of puff pieces about how brilliant she is and how she is the answer, the future of humankind, and a vote for her or else. So brace yourselves, and there it is. That's the reading. We'll have to check in again, seemingly, and so on to the next one.